Wowie, it has been a morning. And by that, I don't mean a very good one, but we are surviving and taking it 1 hour at a time, 1 day at a time. My sweetie goes back to work next week, and it is definitely going to be an interesting transition. I'm bouncing the baby because if I stop bouncing him, he'll cry, and it's out of battery. We have less than 5 minutes, so I'm just going to pop some makeup on and chat about postpartum because it's wild. Postpartum is so wild, and this is my third postpartum, third baby. Second home birth. I will say, I think the transition to 3 kids has been easier than the transition to 2 kids, but then again, we were already used to the chaos, and I think that kind of helped me mentally not go crazy, you know? The delivery with my third son was incredible, which I'll be sharing a little bit more about that soon. I'll share more about that, but I do credit that to my healing, and it's actually been hard to heal. I did have a small tear, which is healing naturally, and up until yesterday, I haven't felt anything there, and I'm like, this is weird, like, did I even tear? And then yesterday, I started to feel a little bit of discomfort, but I honestly think that the tissue is just healing, and I think that's what I'm feeling. It doesn't feel like something's wrong or anything. It just feels different. So it's a good reminder to keep resting. And I'm saying that as we are about to have a really busy day. Really busy. He sleeps all throughout the night, which is wild. He will nurse really well by like 9 p.m. and then zonk out on mama's chest. And then he will sleep until around 1:32. And then he'll wake up, nurse really well again. I'll usually stay up for a few minutes and have a snack myself, just because I'm usually starving, and he nurses for like 15 minutes. So by the end of the 15 minutes, I'm more awake and like I could go for something to eat. Then he'll sleep until my oldest wakes me up, which is usually 6. It's usually around 6. The one thing that really does help me postpartum is I sleep on the couch. We do kind of like a combination of co-sleeping, and he does have a bassinet, so I'll start him in the bassinet, and then if he's really having like a hard time, I'll just bring him on my chest, and I sleep on my back with pillow on my arm, and no blankets. And I don't wear a shirt, so he can't suffocate on my shirt. So that's just the safest way I've found to co-sleep. I feel like we are settling into a little bit of a better routine. This is not mold. This is mascara. I need to get a new brush, but they're like $30, and I don't feel like spending it on a makeup brush right now. I do feel like we're falling into a little bit of a better routine, but it is going to be really interesting when my sweetie goes back to work. But I think the hardest part is how close they are in age. They're all 21 months apart, which I know that there's a lot of families that have babies closer, but like for this stage and age, there's just a lot happening, you know. They're hitting a lot of milestones. My oldest, he is potty trained, but he still needs help with everything else. So he's 3, and it just comes with a whole other bundle of adventure and behavior, and you know, he's a good boy, but he does, you know, test our patience and stuff. And then my middle one, he is 1, and I had no intention to potty train this early because I like to wait until they're ready. But he has taken it upon himself just to take off his clothes and try to go to the bathroom, which is adorable and wonderful. And you might say, oh, awesome. No, not awesome, because he can get his clothes off, but getting to the bathroom or telling mommy or daddy that he needs to go to the bathroom, that's a different story. So there's like little puddles of pee on my floor, and I'm like, when did you do that? So we've been wearing a lot of onesies, and I'm anxious to have him practice potty training this summer. But he needs to give me a few more months to recover with baby before we dive into potty training. So that's pretty much it, though. I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to share. I'm super excited. I don't know if I'll put this video up before or after we share our birth story. I did share a little bit on Instagram in Reels if you wanted to go catch that. But I'm excited to sit down and kind of walk through it and walk through why we made certain decisions and how we made certain decisions, because there's a lot of folks who think that your medical professional, which I say that loosely, that you work for them, and that is completely untrue. They work for you. So there's always options, whether you birth at home, in a hospital, or at a birthing center. Always options. So I'm realizing I really should get more mascara too. I just ordered more eyeliner for the first time in, how old am I? 25? I don't think I've worn eyeliner in the last 6 years. I'm not even kidding. So I used to love to do my makeup, and since having children, it's just kind of gone a little downhill because we're busy. Thank you so much for being here, and I will look forward to sharing our birth story. What is this doing? Let's go that way. Look forward to sharing our birth story really, really soon. Wow, and if you have any questions about anything, let me know and I'll add it in the next one.